depths of Chicago. Live and direct. It's the Rico No Suave Show. Starring Rico No Suave. With co-host Valerie Malesio. Featuring special guests every Saturday. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Rico No Suave. Ritmo.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's your boy, Rico No Suave, here on the 1-2-1-2, ready to go with each and every one of you guys. Oh, my God. Oh, man. You know, welcome to the show. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are doing awesome. You know, one of the things is all about making sure that you guys have a great time with us. But, man, we are back. It is November 6th, everybody. It's November 6th. Hopefully you guys are having a great time out there in Rico No Suave land. Yes, in Rico No Suave land.
You're just going to claim the whole land, huh?
And of course, on the side, you got my girl, Valerie Malesio. What's up, Valerie?
What's up? Feliz sábado, mi gente. We are so glad to be back. And yes, we are on Facebook today.
Yeah, we are on Facebook.
We have had a strenuous relationship with Facebook, but we got a little counseling.
Yeah.
And now we're back.
We're back, baby. We're back. We're back on all different types of platforms, everybody. But yes, you know, we will be all over the world right now. Right? And
yes,
all I have
so
to say,
excited.
I'm really excited
so
for this change. And of course, everybody, our time has changed. 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. CST time. Then we do also have the segments that we're going to be showing you as well as on Facebook and across our platforms as well. So make sure you continue to support us and share that love.
Let's talk about our platforms. Where can they find us at, Rico?
So, you know, Facebook, of course. We talked about that one. Mixcloud, you know, and Mixcloud.com is another one. And then also we're going to be on Twitch. We're also going to be on LinkedIn. We're also on LinkedIn as well, too, going live as well.
Yes, so, LinkedIn, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, all that great stuff. So we're going to be expanding our platform as we continue to grow, right, within our platform base. You know, we're going to basically acknowledge that on our show, right?
And let us know, if you check out all the different platforms,
let
us know which one is your favorite.
Please
Which one do you kind of favor more when it comes to watching the show?
That's right. So speaking of our social media, let's get to our social media so everybody knows what we're all about. www.riconosuaveshow.com is where you'll find us, everyone, and that's where we will be. So you will be able to go to our website. You can actually download our podcast app as well, too. You can look at our previous videos, watch our previous shows as well, and check out our photo gallery. Anything that you want to actually see about us, it's there.
Lots of fun stuff.
Here's the next one. Boom! Yes, at Rico No Suave Show.
The official.
The official. For Instagram. You threw me off on that one, Valerie.
The official Insta. We've only changed it like 6 times, you know, but this is the official Instagram for our show.
So if you're actually on Instagram, make sure you go ahead and follow us there now. Do it now, right? Do
it
now. Yes, follow now. All right, here's the next one. Facebook. Yes, Rico No Suave Show. Yes, if you haven't liked the page yet, make sure you please go ahead and like that page. Yes, we are on Facebook again. So make sure you go and follow us there, and we'll go from there. All right, here's the last one. Of course, we are still on Mixcloud. Mixcloud.com/Rico No Suave Show. You can also find us there. And also, if you're podcasting and you want to check out the previous shows as well, too, we are there as well. So please make sure you please go ahead and check that out. All right. It's time. Hey. We got a full hour show today, but one of the things is that what I want to do is make sure you understand what's coming up next, because this is the breaking news.
Breaking news.
All right, so here we go. Is this. So, you know, I want my face. Can you put me on my face on there as well, too?
Rico's face.
Yeah, you got to, because I want them to see my face on this. It's hard for me to be able to be a Bears fan and put this guy's face up on my show. And one of the things is for the people that's out on the radio, that, you know, Aaron Rodgers was tested for COVID-19. And one of the things about this gentleman is, and I do have to give him props. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a football fan, and then of course the rivalry and all that stuff. We know about that, right? But one thing, Valerie, that I really understood was, and I have to give big shout out to Stephen A. Smith, Jay Williams, Keyshawn, and Max Kellerman, all of those guys, and Miss Rose as well too, Molly Rose. I got to give a big shout out to them because they give us, you know, a little bit of insight as far as what's going on in the ESPN world and what are their thoughts in regards to that.
Right.
One of the things that, you know, my man Stephen A. Smith came out and said, you know, you are a liar. And what I mean by that is, why did he call him a liar? And I had to really look at that, but I looked at it why he actually said that. So 8 months ago in August, you know, the coronavirus and all of this stuff was hitting and people were asking about, are you vaccinated? And the first thing that Aaron Rodgers did was shake his head and says, yes, I'm immunized. So, okay, he comes and catches COVID-19.
Right.
We wound up finding out that he was not vaccinated. So what does that...
Look how he answered that, though.
Exactly. So that's where I'm going. So this is where it means a lot to us as minorities when we go to this next part, because what happened is that Aaron Rodgers was talking to the media without masks. NFL has a protocol that they actually have that if you're unvaccinated, you need to be masked up. You need to have specific protocols that you need to go about to be able to make this happen, right? To basically make other people safe, but also keep yourself safe.
The testing, yeah.
And all that great stuff, right? So let's put up this next one. So Kyrie Irving, NBA star for the Nets, Brooklyn Nets. He actually said, I'm not getting vaccinated. I'm taking a stance in regards to not being vaccinated. And I'm going to tell you why I don't want to get vaccinated. Or I'm just going to tell you just in general, media, I'm not getting vaccinated. I know that I have a team that I need to actually go and play for. But I'm letting you know that here's my reason. I just don't want to put that stuff in my body, which is 64 other million people.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I'm skeptical as myself, right? I didn't want that in my system as well, too, because it was just too brand new. And we don't know what this is going to do to our bodies, right? Because it's just too big. So the next one. So people takes a stance.
Right.
They stand with Kyrie. Because Kyrie did not lie, number one.
He was honest, yeah.
But he was honest.
And he explained his reasons why.
And he explained his reason why, but he was confusing. He was confused as well to the audience because we didn't know which way he wanted to actually go. He was just mad. He didn't want to actually have that vaccination to actually go. Well,
a lot of people didn't want to, but some just did anyway because they had to.
We're talking about an icon
versus
an icon.
Right.
And we're talking about a leader versus leader as far as who people are really looking up to as a celebrity, but also people that have done well in their career.
Right.
So now, here's the last one. So Kyrie Irving is pissed because he's looking at...
You gotta get that picture, though.
He's looking at, and I know that he is,
he's
looking at Aaron Rodgers as saying, why is it that you are on a podium without a mask? Why are you able to walk around your team and you're not vaccinated? But why did you lie? You didn't have to actually lie. So then it comes to the standpoint of racism. We talked about that.
Privilege.
Yeah. Why is it that the NFL did not say anything about this? And why is it that people are heartbroken in regards to you having common sense and you're actually coming to Chicago and say you own the Bears, right? And then all of a sudden you don't have common sense to actually tell people, you know what? I am not vaccinated.
Right.
And here's the reason why. But comes to find out, Valerie, you even said this yourself. What did you read? The ingredient. there was an ingredient.
He had allergies. So he said he couldn't take the vaccine because he had allergies. So he was working another avenue, supposedly with his doctors, to build up his immunities. I'm all about organic and building up my immunity so I could fight the virus.
Yes.
So his whole thing, and the way he backpedaled the conversation was,
yes,
you know, they didn't let me finish. They didn't let me explain myself.
Yes.
I didn't say that I was vaccinated. I said that I had immunity. But how do you know that? You still lied. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a test that says you're immune.
Bingo.
You are immune.
Right.
That wasn't the question. The
right.
question was, did you get your vaccine? Now, some of the interviews that I saw about this conversation,
yes.
about this guy, this player,
yes.
they said, well, in his favor, I heard, well, if he lied, you can't just you know, suspend him for lying, because then you have to suspend coaches, and where do we draw the line on telling lies? And I'm like, why do they have to bring we're talking about one specific situation.
Yes.
We're talking about the vaccine, and if other players were disciplined for not being vaccinated or had to follow a certain protocol because they were not vaccinated,
yeah.
and he made an exception for himself because he was dishonest,
yes.
I think he needs to be addressed for that.
Suspension of the NFL. They will suspend someone, and also they will fine someone for not following the protocols.
Right.
The NBA is doing that to Kyrie Irving. Every game that he actually misses because he's supposed to be on that team is getting fined.
Right.
There's no reason why there should be a difference between the NBA and the NFL if it's all about a mandate. Number one, in regards to getting the vaccination, you either lose your job if you don't get the vaccination.
Right.
Our hospitals are going through it here in Chicago. If you don't get vaccinated, you're going to lose your job by January 4th. Bingo. But what does this tell us? This tells us that we have an issue with certain people in the celebrity arena,
right,
that's getting more privilege than not. I blame the NFL. I blame the Packers as an organization of knowing that he was not vaccinated, and you let him go ahead and do. Now look at him. He's
They should have got ahead of that.
Yes.
They knew they should have got ahead of the curve. We have some interesting comments if we want to address some of the people that are here.
Sure.
Shayla, hey girl, thanks for joining us. Yes, we are back on Facebook. We are excited. We have Johnny Blas. Hey, thank you for tuning in with us.
Good morning.
Violeta, yes, thank you for checking in. She says, my Packer buddy.
Yeah.
Clara de Jesus, girl, thank you for joining us. She says he should be fined. You are absolutely right.
All day.
He should be fined. I think that any disciplinary actions that are supposed to follow suit with not following those rules should apply to him as well. And they're setting a really bad standard right now. And I love the way you kind of set this up. I didn't get to see this the way you did it before we aired live.
Sure.
And I love how you did the side-by-side with,
surprise.
With the basketball player, because this is a real scenario, and this is a good picture of what's happening right now.
Exactly.
And in a lot of different arenas.
So I wanted to make sure that I got my point across, but I wanted to let the people know that, hey, in this case, we have to understand as a people, why does things like this happen, right? And then, so if you could put me on the screen, I want to make sure they see my face, right? I want to make sure they see my face because, one of the things and the reason why I do this, everybody, the reason why I do this is because one of the things about why we're here in this world, it's all about equality. It's all about who has privilege and who does not have the privilege, and why do certain people have a certain privilege versus someone else. I really don't like the situation in regards to, and even if it was someone from the Bears,
right?
If it was someone from the 49ers,
blatant.
It was really
pretty blatant. There's really no way to kind of edge your way back out of that. I mean, the guy was walking around without masks. He was made the exception. Nobody made a big deal. And here we have, a black basketball player, and he's going through the motions, was completely honest about his opinion, and his feelings, and he's getting a lot of lashback for it. So where is the equality in that?
Exactly.
Food for thought.
Good segment. Good segment. Now I must introduce this gentleman, man. I apologize because I really wanted to get this out because this was something that we always talked about on our show in regards to when it comes to racism, privileges, but also we're talking about equality. We're talking about things that matters as far as for the show, but also for you as the audience. So I must introduce this gentleman. I've known this gentleman for quite some time, everyone. He's a big-time community organizer. You know what I mean? And he's with multiple organizations. He has his own company as well, too, as a small business owner, but it's probably big by now, baby, right? My man, I want you guys to put your hands together, roll over, and snap twice, because my man is doing some magic around here. My man, Eddie Guillen. What's up, Eddie? How are you, man?
Pretty good, Rico. Thank you so much for having me. I'm humbled.
Yes,
I'm excited. This is great. Thank you so much,
man.
It is such a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's really, and I know you're like, man, Rico, when you gonna have me on the show? You know, you're like, make sure you got some tacos with it too.
I spoke to him the other night, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm finally coming on the show."
Like 4 years later.
Yeah.
So, Papa, let's get right to this interview. Yeah. So, you know, as a community organizer, you know, it takes a lot to be able to make the decision to become a community organizer, because there's a lot of things from a nonprofit standpoint, but also from hitting the streets, right? And things like that. So tell us, why did you want to become a community organizer?
Well, you know, it's one of the things growing up, born and raised in Brighton Park, you know, coming from immigrant family, first generation. And one of the things, seeing what my mom did, she was very involved in the local school council and at Davis Elementary. She really, instilled that into me. We're just always involved, whether it's outings, fundraisers, protests. It was one of those things seen growing up. I was like, you know, it's in my DNA. And so as much as I tried to avoid it, once I started seeing, again, those inequality, the systemic barriers that's going on, I had to do something about it. I just couldn't stand back. And so, of course, it's dedication, it's sacrifice, it's commitment. But again, just seeing those things happen in our very own community, I just knew that I had to do something. But again, it takes a village. Yeah. It can't be nobody, and not one community has to be, you know, evolved around elected officials or a small business. It's a collaboration, nonprofits, community members.
Yeah. But you take a lot of initiative.
Sure.
I mean, I'm on that the West Lawn group.
Oh, are you?
That you are. So I've seen your posts, and I have to say, you know, in knowing you, I didn't realize how involved you were. And let me tell you, you were the first one to jump out there. We're doing a food pantry when the rioting was going on. He was setting up foot patrols, you know, for the neighborhood. I mean, he was setting up so many things for the neighborhood for outreach, you know, and you were just so active. Like, it was just one thing after another. We're going to be over here, and we're going to gather over here. And so what is some of the fuel that keeps you going? Or do the people come to you and say, hey, this is what we need? Or do you just always have an ear out and recognize what needs action?
Well, I mean, again, thank you so much for the kind words. And, like I said, it's a lot of sacrifice. And so one of the things I just have a huge shout out, you know, to my beautiful wife for really being the... She's right here, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
So for her being my rock and being there to support me, because everybody sees me, right? But it's also her, right, behind the scenes, and really guiding me, right? Because I was never really like this. You know, I feel like she really set me in the right path and grounded me and able to direct me in the things I was supposed to do. And so doing all this community outreach, she was always there. She was as much as she can, right? Because again, there were times where it was just, again, we were doing those patrols at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, right?
I remember.
And I was like, you know what, you know, it's not going to be safe, you know, stay home. And, you know, so one of those things where, again, it's without her guidance, without also community input, I think it's, you know, I'm just nobody. You know, I'm just someone just really going to roll up their sleeves and do something about it. Because, again, it's all organic, and all these things, again, it takes time. You know, there's times where maybe 2 or 3 volunteers come out. And then there are times 80, 100 come out.
I see so many things you put together. And let me tell you guys, I don't live in West Lawn. I'm just nosy. So I'm part of the group because I like to know what's going on in the surrounding areas.
Sure.
But I would constantly see him just putting up these bullets of action, you know, in posts of where they were getting together and working as a community. So do you have like a organization per se, or do you just kind of organize as things are needed? Do you have like an actual organization?
No, so I volunteer with multiple nonprofits.
Okay.
Again, it's one of the things where it's one of the things that I want to do in the future is create my own foundation. But right now, I feel like really God put me in this place right now to serve others and to really help others, right? Whether it's graphic design, whether it's, marketing, whether it's volunteer, I really feel like these gifts, I'm trying to train others because, again, that's one of the things. I want to build other leaders and train them to really fulfill that purpose. I feel like
that.
One of the things that I understand when it comes to being a community organizer is finding the recognition of things, what people are doing for people that need that help, right? Sometimes it's very hard to be an organizer when you go into certain neighborhoods to be able to make things happen. I did realize that, and it just hit me, that during the pandemic and during the looting, you were out in the street.
He was.
Cleaning up.
Yeah.
Right? You were helping clean up, if I'm not mistaken, clean up some of the areas that was actually, happening during that time. The first thing you think about is prayer, that no one actually comes to you and try to loot you, right? Like, hey, or rob you, right? Sure. Because that's a really bold thing to actually do.
It was stepping into action because people were afraid.
Yes.
So he had, I saw one where you actually organized a foot patrol at night for the neighborhood just for safety reasons, right? To kind of see where things were happening, eyes and, ears on the street. So there were boots on the ground when all this was going on to kind of let the neighborhood know what to avoid or what's going on or,
Well, and that's one of the things, Valerie, again, one of the things where on social media, it looked perfect, but honestly, it was one of the things where there was a lot of things behind the scenes that people didn't see. Mm-hmm. To me, absolutely, it was great to see the community come together, but there was also other individuals that really wanted to take things into their own hands, which I told people, look, we're really one incident away from being the next Trayvon Martin case. Right. People want to be vigilantes and carry, and people ask us, oh, do you guys in your neighborhood watch? Do you guys allow people concealed carry? No, absolutely not, because then we're going to put ourselves in that predicament where we're going to be liable for this thing. And we tell people, please, if you're about, just stay home, protect your property. Right. We're just right here, again, eyes and ears, report street lights, report graffiti, and we report to our local aldermen and really get them, to be accountable for all these things going on. Again, it takes a village, and so a lot of people said, yeah, absolutely. We had 100 people that showed up with Huck Finn at 9 p.m. in cars, and we had 400 people that were in Zello communicating. But again, some people had racist remarks. Some people, and I'm like, hey guys, we're a diverse community. We're not just Latino. Right. We have African American families in the community, and we can't allow none of this thing to whatever the media is showing. Yes. I know there was a big case that happened where the Walgreens burned down on 59th Pulaski. Mm-hmm. Yes. Everybody's saying, that. Oh, there goes this and this and that. Truth be told, it was Latinos who looted it in Brandon. Right. So one of the things was like, we got to change that narrative. And, again, it might have looked perfect. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that we had to deal with that I had to, because there was other two people. I didn't start Neighborhood Watch. It was already formed about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so I just came in there as a small business owner because my business is on 63rd Street. What can I do to help? What can I do to serve the community?
I think from that standpoint, it's more of who's in the neighborhood, kind of like what Humboldt Park is going through with the gentrification. But at the same time, too, there's Latinos, there's African American, there's Asian, there's all different types. And even when I drove down Sacramento, when I'm going to teach, I see more Asian now, if anything, going down Sacramento. And nobody used to go down Sacramento because Sacramento was just horrible, right? And I was
depends on what time of the day it is.
Well, I mean, it just didn't matter. I mean, because it was just knowing that when you cross over from 290 to go through going north on Sacramento towards Humboldt Park, things just don't look the same way, right? But you were nervous. But then all of a sudden, I drove past. I'm like, oh.
It looks a little different around here.
Now. I'm like, everybody's saying hello now. Right. I'm like, okay. But what you're talking about is something that we've been going through in Chicago of segregation for many years. Right? Many years. But finally, things are actually coming out to be like, hey, you know what? The pandemic have showed a lot.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
did.
In regards
It
to
did.
who's for who
Yes.
and for what.
And that included all different races and creeds. All the pluses and the negatives came out.
Yes.
The ugly and the beautiful came out in people. You know,
Absolutely.
Eddie, we have a message for you.
Yes.
That's, someone's watching live from Martin Valencia. He says, tell Eddie Guillen hi from his dream team softball team. We are watching and supporting.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Thank you, Martin. That's awesome.
Hey, can I join the football? I mean, is it what is it?
I could play-
Softball team.
You know
I
what?
could play shortstop.
That's Donnie's position. So he's a pretty good ball player. So.
Yeah.
No, another thing with the dream team, crazy story. So huge shout out to Claudia Guerrero. She's
Claudia
a community
Guerrero.
member.
Claudia.
She actually put it out there, and she was like, "Hey, you know, who's gonna want to sponsor?" And Mikey O, the comedian,
Yeah,
he sponsored
okay.
the team. So he bought all the T-shirts, and so it's great. We were sponsored. The dream team was sponsored by Mikey O. So.
That's hot, man.
Oh,
Big
nice.
shout out, Mikey
Big
O.
shout out,
Yes.
Mikey O.
You know, so going back to being so the things that you have done, right, as far as with the community, we do have a couple pictures of you actually, you know, I think you were sitting at a table and you were talking to un niño, right, like a little kid, and then you were also passing out I think you were passing out some things for the Chicago Bears. There was a Chicago Bears tent or something like that. If we can pull that poster up. So yeah, you actually have you're actually the back to school. That was the back to school.
So
thing,
no, it's
right?
actually
no.
that event. I mean, you know, we've been doing it for 6 years, but this is actually an event that I was volunteering at. Yeah.
Got it.
Book bag drives. Yeah.
Nice, yeah, and you've been doing that for quite some time because you actually invited me to one that was
actually,
on.
you actually were the MC.
Yeah.
We go way back. So yeah, we've been doing it for 6 years. But
Nice.
again, like I said, it doesn't stop in my community. I go. This was happening in Garfield Ridge, right there outside of Kennedy High School. So I mean, I go everywhere, wherever there's a need of help. I'm there.
You're like a modern day Superman. He's like, wherever they need me, I just appear.
Hey, you know when Popeye used to eat spinach and they just gave you tacos? That's how you are, man.
Right.
You're like, listen, let's get it on. But you know what? I love it though, man. I love it.
I do too.
And everybody, if y'all don't know, we always joke about tacos, and that's my man. He loves tacos. If anything, I have.
No,
Yeah,
but I'm the
love
official
tacos,
taco
too.
lover.
So, tell us a little bit more in regards to. Tell us a little bit more in regards to the organizations that you work with for, or maybe you want to work for as an organization, basically to help the communities, if you have any.
Sure. Well, I mean, again, there's quite a few, right? There's the Children's Museum of Oak Lawn. I've been a board member there for 4 years.
Oh, nice.
Again, there's another organization that when it kind of dissolved was the Puppet Mill Project. You know, I had passion there because I reached, you know, with Benji, so I got him a couple years ago from a store, right? But then I wasn't aware about these puppet mills in the background, making these backroom deals, and so now through that experience, now like Benji, literally, he's getting blind. So one of the things is like, again, I told people, you know, don't shop, adopt.
Right.
You know, and so it's one of the things where, again, I was helping them out for a couple of years. Another organization it's Envision Community Services, which I used to be the board vice president of that organization.
Okay.
What's the name of it? I'm sorry.
Envision Community Services.
Community Services.
Isn't that there's an Envision that's actually in Humboldt Park area? There's another one as well.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So Envision Community Services has been around for 10 years, but I really feel like the last couple of years has really grown and you know, maximize a lot of the city and state programs.
Okay.
So again, I was there for 2 years. I originally resigned with them for my new position now with the state representative. And so again, conflict of interest, things like that.
Yeah.
But again, you know, Envision is still true to my heart. I'm still like as a volunteer and still able to, because again, it's in the community, right? It's in West Lawn. So whatever I can do to help, you know, more awareness, fundraising, things like that, you know, I'm always there to help out and support.
That's so great.
Good stuff, man.
That.
I'm loving that, man. And when we talk about organizing, my thing is when it comes to organization, it's all about the youth, right? It's all about the kids. I love the kids, right? As long as they ain't mine. But one of the things, no, I'm just joking, y'all. But one of the things is that being an organizer and also just loving to do, I see the passion that you have, and I love it too. Like sometimes when I'll do like the giveaway baskets for Thanksgiving, I love to see happy people. Absolutely. I love to see their faces. I love to see families that are not able to go and buy things for Thanksgiving or for the holidays, even the homeless, right?
It does it's fulfilling. It really is a fulfilling feeling to be able to get out there and help people. But what I love about what you do is because you allow people who don't know how to do these things on their own. Yes. You give them an opportunity. Hey, this is what we're doing. Come on out. You can volunteer with us.
Exactly.
So that people don't, they don't always know, I want to give back, but how do I do that? Or how do I get involved? And with your posts and blasts, like you reach out to everybody. Like I literally watched him like chime and talk back to everybody on there and try to get back to everybody who's messaging. And I don't know how you do it. Right. You must have like a clone somewhere because there's like a lot of like posts that go on, and I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness. Like,
I know.
But that makes that. I mean, I'm proud. I'm proud of them because we're gonna definitely talk about the next question, of course. That's you getting the promotion, but I'm gonna end off with this as far as with the organizing piece. Keep doing what you're doing on that, please. Right? Because as many as you want to be able to get into, but remember, don't burn yourself out because one of the things is that you can do so much, sure, right? And the kindness goes far, right? People will recognize you. We recognize you. We know exactly where you're going with it, and hopefully you'll be able to have your own organization to bring other organizations together so you guys can be a big conglomerate, right? I always look at collaboration as the best thing to do for people to say, hey, it's not just a Susan G. Komen. It's not just, another nonprofit organization. But what it is that it's a Eddie Guillen Foundation where you'll be able to go and do your thing. You know
See,
what I mean?
We just named it the Taco Foundation.
The Taco Foundation. Everybody loves to eat that, right? So it'll be just more of what brings people together. So keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So Eddie, you received the promotion in life. Now put that in there in life because not only are you a community organizer and you're doing great things out there, but you also, as a chief of staff, if I'm not mistaken, chief of staff for the 22nd District State Representative, Angelica Guerro-Cuellar.
That is a heavy title.
You got it.
Chief of staff?
Yeah, chief of staff.
I'm sorry, but that deserves an applause.
Well, again, it's one of the things where I didn't want to get into politics because I really feel there's a huge divide in that. But I think we all really, as a community and city, I think we all seen what happened in this past administration where there was this divide. And I feel like really with everything going on, there was so much noise happening. I feel like, as many back to school drives I organize or a lot of the Christmas giveaways, you could do all these things every year, but if this keeps happening, then that's not a community issue. That's legislation. Those are bills. Those are things that could be addressed. But if no one's addressing them, then it's gonna be again.
Like root causes of these problems.
And
it's funny when you said I never wanted to get into politics, and that's always that catch-22 because. We need people like you in politics. We need the people that care about the communities to get into politics. But they hear politics and you're like, oh, I don't want to get involved in the, all the nonsense that goes along with it. But I'm really glad that you decided to go ahead and take that leap.
I'm curious.
It's still scary.
Yeah, that's it. I was about to ask that
question. now you're being watched, right? And which again, I had no problem with that, right? I love transparency, accountability. It's one of the things I learned from my wife, right? It's like, hey, you never know who's watching. You really have to. And the same thing whatever I do in my marriage is the same thing I do in the community, right? It's gotta be faithful. You got to be committed, dedicated, and you got to sacrifice, right? And so it's one of the things where absolutely I'm up for the challenge, and whatever is out there, I'm really ready to go.
Here's the biggest thing that when I first saw that you were actually the chief, right?
The chief.
Yeah, I was proud right? I was proud because I saw exactly what you were doing for the community. Then I saw you start taking that other route. Now, the scary part about that is being into politics, just like you say. But what made you go for it? Was it someone that came to you, or was something that you saw and say, you know what, I can do that?
Well, it's one of the things where last year with everything happening with our business, again, we do, event productions.
Yep.
We do the lighting, the photo booth, the drapery, the dance floors, anything to put the event together.
Sure.
What happened last year, there was no event, no gatherings. So with that being said, then what was I doing? I couldn't do anything. There was a need, right, for census events, for mutual aid efforts. There was all these other things happening. And so instead of me just sitting back watching Netflix, I was like, you know what? I got to do something for the community, right?
Yeah.
So, again, seeing what's going on in the Facebook group and talking to actual community members, all those things needed to be addressed, and no one was addressing that. No elected officials were really doing that, right? Besides, passing out masks, but this could be so much more. Right. So again, roll up my sleeves and really put up some of these initiatives where I can't do it on my own, really show people, hey, come on out and volunteer. Let's do this community cleanups. We're doing monthly, or let's do these food pantries, and me volunteering with other organizations and bring awareness to those things, because again, we have a mix of community members, right? And so a lot of things is like people need help with their EBT. Some people need help with immigration, unemployment. It was huge. The PPP loans. So one of those things where, again, it might look like I know everything, but I don't. I connect and collaborate with others, professionals that are in the industry. I'll be like, hey, can you help out? And let's work together and really fill that gap. Yeah. So this is why, it's what happened last year. It's like, this is why I had time to organize different efforts. And that's when I got noticed. From the 13th Ward, which is Alderman Quinn. Yeah. You reached out, and it actually took me about almost 3 weeks to think about it, because again, I didn't want to get into this. Yeah. It was a different arena. I see all the time, when you got CNN and all these things. It's just this whole showcase, and it's like, that's not what I'm about. Right. I like to bring people together and work together. Right. Yeah. I'm not about being divided and picking sides. But this is where I was like, you know what? It's already what I'm doing. But maybe with this platform, with this position, I could reach even more and really get my ideas out there and say, hey, it's okay, just to go out and volunteer and serve the community.
Well, the outreach piece is where you feel like that's what you love to do, right. The outreach. Right. And in that person reaching out to you, maybe they felt like, hey, this is something I'm lacking. Let me get him on board because he knows how to do this. Right. So hopefully that just brings the outreach back into politics, right. Where it should be, because we need people like you in that arena. So I'm grateful that you decided to take that step and get involved in some politics.
You're definitely in that area too, right? You're in that area of what, someone like yourself needs to be as a community organizer, but also having that title of leadership, right? I think just by having that leadership makes a big difference of why you have the title. Now, behind that title, when you hear chief, you hear chief executives, and you hear, chief information officers and things like that. Those are big titles, but it's all about how you grow within that as well over time, and who's actually mentoring you. Sure. Right. That's a key thing, because once you start off at the very beginning, it makes a big difference in regards to where you're learning, who you're learning it from. Sure. Right. We got some. Comments. So I got to read this one off. Ahead, I know you want to do this one. Hey, Martin Valencia. Oh yeah. So you took that word taco right out of my mouth. So he said the amazing community organizer.
See, there you go. I love it.
I think he wants tacos. I think that's what it is.
The amazing community organizer. Right. Now. See, I already consulted with the chief officer behind him, his wife, and I think she likes the title. We also have a comment from Sue Vargas who says, Eddie is a blessing to the community.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Sue.
Yes, he is.
And also everybody that's actually on, and thank you so much for, Patty Escobar's, she went back to saying liar too about Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I do agree.
Liar!
My man Justin Sawyer is actually going for alderman for Roseland. as well too for the Roseland community. And he said, well, if you need volunteers, I got you. So I'm gonna get you in contact as far as with Justice Sawyer as well too, you know, to be able to help.
And he's another one from the community for the community.
Yes.
You know, so when you can address issues that are in your community. You live there. You're not just from the outside looking in.
You know, one of the things about Justin as well too, big ups to him, is that he's coming up with the youth program, right? And actually getting the youth and getting tablets and get the iPads and all of that stuff for them to be able to, you know, stay after, kind of like that after school program type deal, and on the weekends for them to be able to come and do things and have people come in from like different careers, like a police officer, firemen, doctors, lawyers, and be able to come and talk to these kids so that they don't know exactly what they really want to do in life, but give them inspiration on what they can do in life. So that will be definitely someone good that I'm gonna definitely connect you guys to.
Sure, absolutely, that'd be great.
So so I'm definitely loving that. And everyone else, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Nessa Doza.
Yeah, Nessa Doza.
She chimed in and said yes, girl. I feel the same way.
All right, Tino. Yeah, I got you, man. You try to get me to play in Forest Park, huh? Yeah, okay. I'll try to do what I can. I'll see what I can do if my ligaments work. Yeah, I'll see what happens.
Busted kneecaps.
Yeah, right. So we're at 12:45 right now, everyone. And yes, I want to say congratulations once again, man. Congratulations once again because of that. What is your plan as far as being that chief now? Chief of staff, right?
Yeah.
What is your plan in regards to, is it certain areas that you have that you are, like that you look over, like territories or anything like that you look over, or is it a broad thing for the 22nd district?
Well, it's something where it's new. Again, 22nd district is overseeing like the Midway area airport, those communities like from West Lawn, Clearing, Garfield Ridge, and then you got some areas in Summit and things like that. So it's one of the things where in our district we see a lot of you know, there's boundaries, there's a lot of things happening, but it really just getting the information out there, the resources, and to really just really putting awareness to what's going on, whether it's vaccinations, testing, any other community, like if it's food pantries, things like that, or again, and then you go to the legislative side, those bills. And one of the things I love about the representative, how she always is really, you know, mentoring me and really showing me. There was one day she went into the office and she's like, here's a bill that's going to be coming and proposed. And she's like, here, read it. And it was like maybe 5-6 pages long. And I was like, okay, I'll read it. And I was thinking, you know, you give me a day or something. And then she comes back like 15 minutes later. Like, did you read the whole thing? I'm like, wow. So like, oh, okay. So now I know. Now I know the standards.
Right. Like, did you read it? You're like the first 3 sentences.
Yeah, like I saw budgets, I saw proposals, I saw things. So, but again, it's one of the things where she actually reads the bills, and so it's a testament to her hard work and what she's doing in the district. So it's like, you know, this is great. That's what I want, right? I want someone that's really gonna roll up their sleeves and go out there and, you know, again, lead by example. So it's one of the things like, hey, you know what? Then I should do the same thing too. Right. And so again, this is all new to me, but again, I'm up for the challenge.
My man, my man. And I think, you know, I think, you know, being in that position and actually challenging yourself and also learning how to multitask and things that way. Simultaneously, someone comes up and says, hey, I need you to read this. Now, our first question will be, when is the expiration date? Right? Like, when are we supposed to, when is this due by? What's the deadline on this, right? When do you want me to have this back? Because I don't want you to walk out the room and then come back and say, did you read it yet, right? So, but one of the things is, and that's how I tend to do my projects that way, right? When I say, if my boss comes and say, hey, we have this project coming, okay, when is the deadline? That's the first thing I ask for, because in my mind, I have to make sure I'm multitasking between the two, right? As a chief, you know, that might just be like, okay, what do you think? Right? Okay, I'll just go ahead and sign it.
Let me just skim through this real quick.
Don't mess up. Right, exactly. So
I do have a comment from Sal Hernandez. Well, actually, let's get George's in there. George Rodriguez. Eddie, is Eddie thinking about a mayoral run?
No.
Do you see that in the future?
No.
Now, he says no today. Let's check back with him in about a year or two, and we'll see where he's at then. So then we also have Sal Hernandez, who says, he gave me a jump start once at 11:30 p.m. when he was out shoveling with the snow angels. Thanks, Eddie. I owe you tacos.
I love Sal. You know, huge shout out to Sal. Sal has been an amazing volunteer and really going above and beyond. I feel like, again, this is, you know, he's a huge pillar in the West Lawn community as well. And again, I learned from him. You know, he's been around much longer than I have. But again, it's one of the things where I tell people it should be different pillars in the community, right? And different voices. Because this is how we really, you know, put the community up for, you know, just keep going and running together. And so it's Sal's. I have so many amazing stories with Sal, but it's one of the things where he's, again, selfless, and he's been willing to go out there as well. Hey, you need my microphone, you need this. He's always come out and supportive, and he's always doing a lot of amazing things.
Big shout out to Sal. Big shout out, Papa. Keep doing what you're doing, Sal.
And also George. I know George is a great volunteer as well, and he likes to go out there, and there are times he shoveled snow as well. And you know, again, it's one of the things where, hey, I tell people, you know, sacrifice that 1 hour on Netflix, come out with us, and now the winter season's coming. You know, just all we need maybe an hour.
Why you gotta dig on Netflix though? He said sacrifice that 1 hour.
Why couldn't it be Hulu?
I know. Why you gotta be
Netflix is up there. I say that, or 1 hour Call of Duty, or
Call of Duty?
That's a different story, Papa. That's a different story. We talking about Call of Duty.
You're asking a lot from Rico.
I don't know if I can get outside of a Call of Duty.
Rico, just 1 hour.
Oh, just 1 hour?
Just 1 hour.
Hey, man, that's like 15 games in 1 hour, man. I don't know.
No wonder it's hard to get people then.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, you got me choked up on that one.
But you are really, really a true inspiration.
Oh, for sure.
And all the comments is just, you know, good testimony to, you know, what you're doing out there. So keep up the great work.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, so, you know, for you guys, if you guys have any more questions for my man Eddie, or also for us as well, too, make sure you please continue to ask us questions. We love the interaction. Keep interacting, because this is how our show continue to grow. So, you know, let's go to kind of like the last question. We're getting close to that 1 o'clock hour. So, small business owner. I wouldn't really call it small business, but small business meaning probably employee-wise, right? Yeah. But client-wise, you're pretty big, right?
Hey, so I've had the pleasure of working with him. He's got a good business.
Yeah, me too. So he actually done a few weddings as far as with me, right, as well. So tell us a little bit about your business, what the name of your business is, and what do you do?
Sure. So it's Magic Uplighting. We've been around since 2015. And so we just started with lighting, right? With uplighting. And then we started having clients just say, hey, well, do you have projectors? And I was like, you know me, I don't like to take no for an answer. I'm trying to find a way, while that question is happening, I'm finding a way to do research and that. And again, I look at things. So I was like, well, let me get back to you. And then absolutely, you know, it's one of the things where we invested in projections. We invested in, and then we just started going. And then again, since we've been doing our community events, our back to school giveaway, and our Christmas giveaway, we just stuck with the name. So now we started adding drapery, dance floors, the photo booths, either the social or the inflatable booths. It's one of the things that just started growing. We started adding more inventory, and we just kept the name. You know, I know a lot of people they'll like, well, why just call it something else? But again, it's unique, and we just want to keep the, you know, again, everything's word of mouth. Yeah. So we just want to keep that client base, and it's been growing. It's been great. I think after 2 years, going on 3 years in business, that's when I was able to leave my job. At that time, I was working at Holy Cross. I was doing public safety there, and again, went through a lot there. You know, but I just knew after that, we got 2 accounts that helped us with the lighting part. Yeah. And it was a casino rental company, and one in Indiana, one here in Illinois, and that kind of really replaced my income. And so it's been great. It's been a great ride. But again, with everything happening in 2020, this is when I had to, you know, go back and think about other things. Like, man, you know, we're very vulnerable. Yeah. There was no events happening. So if this happens again, what am I going to do for me and my family, you know? And again, I actually did Amazon for 3 months.
I know.
I did Amazon for 3 months.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and so.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. Was it the book?
The book.
The
yeah,
books,
I think
right?
it's the free Amazon.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I did write a.
You wrote a book.
I wrote a book. So we made a ebook, and then we also had an audio book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
remember.
just kind of diversify myself, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we got into some real estate and you know, commercial properties, but again, I told people it's like I really just learned this. It was on YouTube or just talking to people, reading literature and things like that. And I told people that's okay, to fail at things.
Of course.
But always have something on the side because you just never know.
Yeah.
You gotta have different plans and different options. Don't
Right.
just have your
I think
eggs in one
that's the
basket.
one thing this pandemic taught everybody is just multiple revenue streams,
And this is why I was very adamant about promoting other small businesses or people who are just selling out of their garage. Like it's amazing how people are just like, I'm gonna sell these tacos out of here. I'm gonna sell this quesadilla, and it's like, and it's one of the things like, man, it's amazing. But I mean, it was real life for a lot of people. It was like, hey, sometimes you're not gonna be able to make that rent on that mortgage. So this is why I was very like, hey, if you have something, I'll put it out there for you, and because that's what we're talking about. We're bringing people together and really just absolutely hand in hand.
I think that's why connecting the dots of not just being a small business owner started you in regards to networking with people, being in certain areas to be able to say, hey, you know what, I can help you with this. And of course, providing for yourself and your family and going from there, right? I think one of the things is that Magic Uplighting was kind of the magic to be able to get everything started into where you're at right now, right? Because now it's almost as if when I had started my event planning company, right, it was like more of, hey, or How to One Shasha, right? When I started that, it was always a connection of a dot of, hey, people, connection, networking. And then all of a sudden, people just start knowing exactly what you do, and they start telling other people. Then all of a sudden, other things start coming along for you. Other positions, like, hey, have you ever thought about
starts
doing
to take
this?
a life of its own.
Right, right. But I think before, as an entrepreneur, you were like kind of grateful that you were able to not be in competition with a lot of other people until the pandemic happened, right? Because now what happens is it's like now like everybody found out what their task and what their talent is. Yeah. Now that what they're doing is they're actually trying to use that as an outlet to say, hey, I really don't need that job no more.
Right. I mean, look what Eddie was saying. There was like the whole retro barter system,
right?
Like, I'll make you the rice, you make the meat. I'll buy it. We'll switch up. People were selling sofrito. You know what I mean? And so,
and now everybody and their grandmama's doing it.
That's
now,
right.
Right. And what happens is that it's funny how when people really realize, as far as when you have the talent and that talent have kept you through, because when a pandemic like this happened, look what happened. You were able to become chief of staff. Right.
Yes.
And you became that route and get to that point of knowing that, hey, me being an entrepreneur taught me how to do things when there was nothing that was going to actually happen maybe a year down the line. Because we always say, as an entrepreneur, you always got to have a backup plan.
Absolutely.
Right. And then we have the backup plan. You never think about that. Right. You're like, what is my backup plan going to be? Then all of a sudden, boom. Oh, thanks for bringing it to me.
Well, one thing about that, Rico, I always tell people too, it's good also to operate without a safety net, because then you get comfortable. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I get to see is like, oh, well, I got
sink or swim.
Some of these things lined up. I'm like, oh, pretend you don't have anything, because then that's just going to show you, because entrepreneurship is 24/7. I feel like it's like 37.8 hours. I don't know where these hours come from,
right?
But I feel like, again, it's 24/7.
Yes, sir.
It's not a 9 to 5 punch in, punch out.
Not at all.
It's passion. Yeah. And it's one of the things where we just gotta, again, go with it.
How many times have I like called you late at night saying, hey, dude, I got this gig that just came in. I'm just giving you a heads up when you wake up. When you wake up, hopefully you'll be able to see this and then get back with me. That's how entrepreneurs work, right? Because if
we're wired.
It's a consistent thing, right? We don't think about, well, this has been happening before the pandemic.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You're thinking about, okay, what's going to happen down 2 or 3 years later? Before it was 5 years.
Right. Well, we need to know.
Right?
I'm curious where you're going to be at in a couple of years, because according to these comments, you've already got some, you know, they're already putting you in office for mayor.
Right.
So, you know, you've already got some votes going on.
I think they want tacos, to be honest.
Right. So we'll definitely have to check in with you again, you know, a year or two from now and to see exactly where you're at.
Shayla Medina, hey, I got she said, as a small business owner, I can say that in the beginning it's hard, but but you just need to believe in yourself and make it happen. That is correct.
That's
all day.
100%.
Great, Shayla.
Eddie Guillen never sleeps. So that's possible, right? That's possible. I think he does. When you get a full stomach
hold on, let me ask my wife. Do I sleep?
Does he sleep?
Yeah, does he sleep? 4 hours. 4 hours? Okay, yeah. Well,
maybe
at least
4 hours.
Get a chance to close his eyes. I mean, all right, my man. So I got something for you. I mean, this, of course, this.
Finally.
I know. I know you've been waiting on it. Papa. But I have something for you.
Sure.
And one of the things is that this shirt means a lot to us from the Rico No Suave Show to give to you of all of the compliments that you have made from being that community organizer of just being kind enough to be able to help people in bad and good. Right. Second thing is that being a small business owner is not easy. No. You know, being able to have that and being able to know how to start that and being able to go through the good and the bad also makes a big difference. But last but not least, you're the chief of staff. Right. And I'm glad that you're the chief on my show right now. Right.
That's right,
and the thing is that being able to take that position and connect the dots and being able to get to that. So some people understand who you are through the good and bad.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why you're here today. So congratulations, my man.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome, man. Eddie Guillen, everybody. Yes.
It's official.
It's official, baby. It's official. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you so much.
So when you're running for mayor, put the shirt on.
Yeah, don't even play. Eddie, don't forget to announce the Envisions Gala this Saturday, November 13th.
Yeah, so there you go. Who sent that comment?
This is Emma.
Emma, perfect.
Elenes.
So yes, I was gonna go to that. We're gonna have Envision is gonna have so they got a couple grants. One going to violence prevention in Brighton Park.
Okay.
So and then with that, another one happened as well. So with that, with those funds, they were able to secure a new location.
Okay.
So one is going to be in Garfield Ridge on Archer and Latrobe.
Yep.
So the grand opening is going to be on November 13th, 5 p.m.
Wow, okay.
Then the gala is going to start at 6 p.m.
Yeah, let us know.
So
send us a flyer.
if you guys are available, bless you. If you guys are available, $45. November 13th. See you there Saturday, Archer and Latrobe.
All right.
$45.
So we're going to put up your social media real quick because there's a few social medias if you want to get in contact as far as with Eddie and the things that he's actually doing. So yeah, let's put up his website first. It's magicuplighting.com, everyone. So make sure you go and check him out. Get all of the magic you need from that man, right? He got everything that you actually need to be able to make sure that your event, quinceañera, la boda, whatever that you may have.
We do divorce parties as well.
Very professional service.
Divorce parties too?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Divorce parties. Yeah,
divorce parties with the photo booth. You know you got to get pictures.
That's interesting. Yeah, okay, cool. So if you're on your way out the door, make sure you call him and let him know.
Sign the papers first.
Well, if you're on your way to the lawyer's office to meet up, just make sure you call him first. He'll let you know everything you need to light it up. All right. So, do you provide
everything you need to light it up?
Do you provide bands on the way out while they actually want to sign in this?
It's going to be the background music with the fireworks.
Don't forget, he's also an Eddie Guillen official as well, too. That's on Facebook. Did we do his Instagram? Let's do his Instagram. I think he has an Instagram también. At Eddie Guillen. Oh, I'm sorry. Official. Sorry, not officiant.
Hey, you know what? Somebody told me that. They told me that.
Are you an
It should be official.
Right,
official, not officiant.
I was just going to ask you that. Are you an officiant, too?
No.
My goodness.
Someone told me that.
Yeah. So it's Eddie Guillen official, not officiant. So that's I almost got you there. Sorry. Yeah, so make sure you guys go and follow him there on his social media. But once again, Eddie, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was a pleasure to have you once again. Everybody put your hands together for my man, Eddie.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, Papa. All right, everybody, let me end off the show. You know how I do. I want to thank you guys so much. Gracias a todo mi gente. Thank you guys so much for being on the show with us today. I hope you guys enjoyed your show because as we know, you know, being an entrepreneur, connect dots for a lot of people. That means you out there networking for the good and also for the bad. Make sure you go out there and be kind to everyone that's out there because you know what? You never know who's going to be kind to you on a bad day that you may have. So once again, everybody, next week we have another entrepreneur that's actually coming. That's coming up. Her name is Michelle Barksdale. She'll be here on the Rico No Suave Show from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Until then, everybody, I want you guys to have que tengas un día. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Here we go.